Awesome. I hope everybody is doing well today. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. I see quite a few people starting to roll in and join us here. My name is Asa, very excited to have the opportunity to connect with you all today. And we're going to be looking at how to plan a successful homecoming and alumni reunion in 2023. Awesome. I love to see some celebrations going there on the screen. Just to help us out, and as people are joining, we would love to know where you are joining from. If you want to type your city into the chat box there, or your school, if you have a favorite emoji, feel free to drop that in the chat too. So we'll let people kind of join in here. Before we get too much further, just wanted to let everybody know that by default, you all will be on mute and your cameras are turned off, but you can see the three of us that are going to be presenting today. And feel free to use that chat function to introduce yourself and where you're from, like I mentioned before. This webinar is being recorded, and there are some resources that we will send to you in the next 24 hours after this time together. And throughout the webinar, we're going to be doing some polls. So please remember to select your answer for those polls when we prompt you for it. That can really help us as well to make sure that we're doing things that you want to be discussing. So feel free to post your questions using the chat or the Q&A feature. Towards the end, if we have some time, we'll take some of those questions and get them answered. And otherwise, we'll go ahead and make sure we reach out to you afterward to answer those questions as well. So very excited to get things rolling. Looks like we have some people still joining. But as I said, my name is Asa Berger. I work here at Almabase, and I am Director of Partnerships. And along with me, I have some colleagues from Blackbaud that I wanted to allow them to introduce themselves. So I'll pass it off to Sarah.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be here. My name is Sarah Unger, and I'm a customer success manager on the higher education team at Blackbaud. My role as a CSM is to make sure that our customers are getting the most out of their products. Prior to Blackbaud, I spent about 10 years working in higher education and admissions with a focus on student recruitment, event planning, and communication. Now on to Raina.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. My name is Raina Fordall. I'm also a customer success manager on the higher ed team from Blackbaud. I've been a CSM here a little over a year, and prior to this role, I worked at a foundation and used Razor's Edge every day.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And some of you may be wondering, like, why Almabase and Blackbaud doing this webinar together? Well, we have an awesome partnership with each other. It is a strategic and innovation partnership. And so Blackbaud has some really neat tools. One of them is Razor's Edge NXT. And Almabase, we are able to really integrate well there. And with this partnership, it allows us to give those a really holistic solution, from having a CRM there on the back end, along with an alumni engagement platform like Almabase that work together and help data to go back and forth. And so that's why we get to partner together and present things like this to you all. So today we really want to focus in on giving some perspective and helping you all make the most out of homecoming and alumni reunions. We know these are big events throughout the year. Many happen in the fall, sometimes in the springtime. So we wanted to make sure we were touching on this at some point to, again, give some perspective, because these can be really, really great events for institutions here. It can help you reconnect with untapped and newer alumni segments, or identify those new donors. Here, we've seen these really help strengthen relationships between you all and the alumni. And you could provide a lot of different opportunities to build value for your alumni to join. Things like networking and mentorship opportunities. And of course, everybody likes to flaunt and promote their institution's pride. there and mascots. So awesome opportunities to be able to build off of Homecoming and Alumni Reunion. So that's what we're going to get into today. As I mentioned, we do have a poll here for everybody. We wanted to know, what flagship events do you host during the fall? So I'm going to go ahead and open that up for you all. So you should see that question and poll popped up. Feel free to answer that. Oh, good. I see a lot of answers coming in here. Love it. I do know Homecoming is one of my favorite events that my alma mater does, and I'm thankful I live just an hour outside of my alma mater, so I'm often able to go to Homecoming and reconnect with some of my old classmates and things like that. So very excited to be covering this today. Well, we've had quite a few people join in here and answer, so I could go ahead, and looks like we have a couple more coming in. I can go ahead and close this poll. We got great participation here. And I can even share some of those results here. So looks like quite a few do Homecoming in the fall, some alumni reunion events solely, and then a lot do both Homecoming and alumni reunion events. So that's awesome. Sounds like we're hitting the nail on the head with a webinar like this. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Sarah to cover different things like a Homecoming and alumni reunion best practices.
Awesome, everyone. So thanks again for sharing all the different events that you typically host in the fall. And congrats to those of you who are working on your first events. We really hope that today's session will give you some guidance as you start planning. Now, we do recognize that you all represent both higher education and K through 12 institutions, and that you're all different sizes, you have different resources, and that you may be in different places in your homecoming or reunion weekend planning. So our aim here is just to make sure that we touch on a little something for everyone. To do this, we're going to be breaking down our best practices and what to do before your event, during your event, and after your event. Next slide. So homecoming and reunion weekends, as Asa mentioned, often do invoke that nostalgia among your alumni, while also giving them the opportunity to see how your institution has grown and changed. And these type of events can invoke a continued sense of pride in your institution. And we also hope will encourage them to become donors. So as you plan for your alumni events, keep in mind some of the key differences between what we'll call new era and old era alumni. So your old era alumni are loyal, and they're going to prefer an old school approach, such as snail mail, some phone calls. They also tend to enjoy repetition and are more reactive. Your new era alumni are value-based and proactive. So they're going to prefer an integrated and digital approach. And as we talk about steps to take for planning your event, I'll make sure to include some tips for targeting both types of alumni. Now, let's really dive into what you should be doing before your event. When it comes to planning an event, especially one of this scale, keep in mind that it's never too early to start the planning process. As a first step, we do recommend starting with determining your budget and setting your goals for the event. Next, you really want to start thinking about your timeline and the individual events that you're going to host. You'll want to make sure that you're taking note of other events that are happening in the same time frame, if they're upcoming holidays. We also recommend connecting with other departments just to make sure that your dates are going to mesh well and you're not going to interrupt anything that they might be planning. As you consider what individual events to host, now is a really great time to think about those audience segments that you want to engage. All alumni, certain class years, major donors, are all these events going to be family friendly, or maybe just some of them? Also, to go back to what I said about those new era and old era alumni, your old era alumni are going to expect some more traditional events, like attending a game or two if it's homecoming, or maybe your institution always hosts a picnic on the quad every year. You're going to want to make sure to keep up that tradition. But your new era alumni, they're going to be looking for value and looking for something new. So maybe this upcoming year you decide, let's host an alumni mixer for our young alums. Or maybe we have an event that's new that we can really advertise, or something that rotates and changes. Always keep them on their toes. And as you're setting for each of these events or activities up, don't forget to build these events out somewhere. So for those of you with Almabase or Razor's Edge NXT, you can actually build those events right within your system. Lastly, while the individual events and activities are really important, remember that your communication plan is going to be crucial to make your event successful. We do recommend focusing on having a strong email campaign. This should include a series of emails, about 4 to 5, with messages that are purposeful and of high value. You may also want to consider at least one mailed flyer to a segmented audience, especially those old era alums. They like to have something in their hands that they can look at and hold. You'll want to advertise on your school's website and alumni pages, and maybe even post to social media. And as you prepare to send out these communications, once again, keep in mind that you can utilize both Almabase and Razor's Edge NXT to segment your audience and communicate to alumni right through these platforms. And then as you prepare to plan for your event, we put together this helpful checklist that includes some comprehensive strategies, including recommended timelines for starting your planning. When do I get started? What do I do at what month? Where do I even begin? As well as ways to communicate to your audience, our email and social media checklist, and our top 50 homecoming event ideas. If this is something that you're interested in receiving a copy of, that's completely free. All we want you to do is just type in homecoming in the chat, and we'll make sure that it's sent to you. Now on to Asa to talk a little bit more about what happens during your event.
Yeah, absolutely. So there is a lot to do ahead of the event, and then you get to the event. That's the very exciting part here, where you're welcoming the alumni back and you're doing quite a bit. But we want to make sure that you can stay as stress-free as you can throughout the entire process. And so that's where Almabase can really help, because we wanted to build a solution to keep it simple for you to manage and have a great user experience for your alumni as well. So today we're just going to tour through some of the Almabase solution that can help you during this event. To kind of bridge the gap here between that pre-event and during the event, we have the back end of Almabase where you really set up the event registration page. So wanted to start there. Just like Sarah was talking about, all those details that you're putting together are very important to set up here. So you can see where you put in your basic information about the event. If you're doing a virtual aspect of the event, you can even include that in location and things like that. You'll continue to put different details and images in here around that event, your guest and registration information, so what different forms you want them to fill out while they're registering. For payments, being awesome partners with Blackbaud, one of the benefits is you can use Blackbaud merchant services as a payments gateway here. You certainly can set up all your different tickets. We know Homecoming and Reunion, there's not just one option. Often there's a bunch of different tickets available. So you can set all of those up in here. And then you can associate those tickets to different sub-events even. Within these sub-events, you can even make some of them more private. Like if you're doing reunion dinners or things like that, you can restrict people even seeing this with a question like the class year that they were a part of. So lots of flexibility to build out these sub-events and help you with the management side of it. You can, of course, include different discount codes if you would like to do something like that, whether it be an early bird special, or maybe your top donors get a discount, or you have a board of alumni that you want to give discounts to. You can certainly include all of that. You can include gift tickets. So maybe you want people to have the opportunity to give while they're registering for the event. You can include gift tickets for them to be able to give at the same time. There is opportunity to do QR code check-in with Almabase as well. So you can enable a check-in kiosk to make that happen. And once you're ready, you would go ahead and publish the event and start accepting registration. You are off to the races now, and we are during the event. So we'd love to show you the user experience that your alumni will have using something like Almabase to show you the simplicity of what you can be looking for in a tool. So here's that event page that we just built out. You can see exactly what it is, when it's happening, the details around this event. You could even have a discussions board where people could ask questions, get excited about this event. Maybe you want to make it so others can see who else is going to be attending. We certainly would include a photo gallery to bring back some of that nostalgia, maybe from past homecomings. And then we want people to be able to see the schedule of everything that is available to them here. Once ready, people can go ahead and register. They can fill out some information here. We do have that question to get the class year. Maybe I am class of 2013. And if this were homecoming, I wouldn't fly solo. I'd probably bring my wife along. So I'm going to go ahead and add her in as a guest here. And now we can decide what we'd like to be a part of. Now, my wife and I, we are social butterflies. We love to eat. So we would definitely go to this welcome gala. And right here, we can even pick what our meal preference would be for the meal there. I would probably go to the tailgate party, but I don't think my wife's going to be too interested. So I'm just going to grab the one ticket today. I would love to go to this class dinner, but I might feel like I need to rest because I really want to get to this after party. So I'm definitely going to go to the after party and bring my wife along there. Maybe Sunday I would need to travel home, so I just can't make it to the networking brunch. But I want to make sure that I represent my alma mater correctly and get some of this limited edition swag. So I'm going to get a t-shirt for my wife and myself here as well. And like I mentioned, you could make it so people can give. And I'm going to go ahead and give to the area of greatest need while I'm at it. Here you would have the opportunity to build out even more information to collect if you would like to. And then we'd look it all over. Given that this is a webinar, I'm going to use my super unique credit card number for you all to grab here. And as simple as that, I've been able to register for the event. I would get an email in my inbox with any of the details that I need surrounding this event as well. But the user experience doesn't quite stop there, because I'd probably go tell my wife, hey, I just registered for homecoming. This is what we'd be doing. And she might be like, what the heck? What am I supposed to do while you're at that tailgate party? I'd like to go too, meet some of your friends. I could very easily come in and edit that registration, make some changes here and add that tailgate, or maybe we decide to stay Sunday after all. We can certainly do all of that. So we really put the power in the hands of your alum to be able to give them that self-service, which might end up relieving some of your email inbox and phones as well throughout there. So now you've seen that user experience during the event as they're registering. We wanted to keep it simple, but you all would be our users. And of course, we want it to be simple for you too. So now you can see all of the different opportunities that you would have on the back end to do that management side of it. Here we went over the setup of the event, but now you have tools here like our guest manager. We see that Matt and Lindsay, they've now registered for this event here. And so as Matt walked up, I would be able to check Matt in very easily. You can break this down by sub-events as well to do different sub-event check-in here. I mentioned that we have that QR code for check-in as well. So you could open that check-in kiosk to be able to check people in via QR code. Whether that be self-serve or you have volunteers manning the kiosk, you could certainly do that. And so we simply would open it up, scan the QR code, and here I am, along with my guest, Clark Kent. So I could very easily check us in. We can see what we have purchased here. And it's as simple as that. Now you also have other elements like a guest kit. This is where you can include a lot of the information that you need to send out in that email once they register here. We have our guest communications, just like Sarah was talking about, and you're going to send out 4 or 5 different emails around this event. You can actually schedule them all to go out. You can compose them ahead of time while you're planning. So as you're getting closer to that event and you need to be focused on logistics, you can do that, knowing communications are going to run smoothly for you. Or if you end up out of office for whatever reason, you don't have to scramble to try to get somebody to cover the communications that are supposed to go out. They can just run smoothly for you. Of course, reporting is huge. We're collecting a lot of data and we want you to be able to see it very quickly here. So you have a nice tab to be able to see even the touch points you're getting. You'll even be able to see the new contact information. Hey, we got 4 new email addresses just from the few people that have registered for this event already. You can break this down not only by the overall event, but each sub-event as well. You have all those sub-events here, the different ticketing, the gifts that are coming in from the registration. And this is all awesome. Collecting this data is great, but getting it into your CRM is even better because we know you want one place for truth when it comes to data, and that's often your CRM. Awesome one is NXT, and we have an excellent integration with Razor's Edge NXT here. So you can see very quickly that at the click of a button, you can send all this information over to Razor's Edge NXT. And you can even set up the different configurations that you need based off of your workflow and the different types of events that you're running, from the event configuration to the different ticket configurations, the payments with appeals and campaigns and packages, as well as your guest configuration here. And so again, at the click of a button, you can send this all over. What we've found as a best practice is really to open up that event in Almabase and then sync it over to Razor's Edge NXT, because it will actually open up the event for you, bring in all of your tickets and fees, as well as guest configuration information here. So lots available with the Almabase events platform. And so very excited and thankful I had the opportunity to show you through this and see what you can be doing during the event to help manage it and give your users an awesome experience.
Thanks, Asa, for showing us a quick insight into the back end of Almabase and the front end as a user. So now we're on to the post event. The event is over, you have all this data, but there's still so much work to be done. During this homecoming event, you hopefully got to engage with a lot of alumni, and your alumni, especially any younger alumni, are always moving, changing jobs, updating contact information, and having personal life changes. You'll want to make sure that you now put this into your alumni database with any information gathered from the event. You also might have met new prospects during this time. Use this time to create a moves management plan to keep these alumni engaged. And if you have Razor's Edge NXT, you might consider using the Work Center to assign a fundraiser to keep track of these new prospects, or start using analytics to target these donors for the upcoming year. Earlier, Sarah had mentioned having a communication plan in place before the event. This is also a crucial step to include after your homecoming event ends. We recommend having 2 to 3 emails sent out after to share event photos, thank your alumni, gather their feedback, and share out dates for any other upcoming events. Now, this is also a great time to reflect internally. Think about things like what went well, what changes should be made for next year, what alumni feedback are we receiving? Do we continue the old era, more traditional events in the future? Or what new era events might be a better fit next year? It can be challenging to remember all of these things when planning the next event, so keep feedback notes to reference in the future. And as you reflect on how things went this year, keep in mind that your interactions with alumni aren't just limited to those that attended or made a gift at this homecoming event. Alumni engagement shows up in many different forms, and each interaction can give you insight into how to keep your alumni best engaged. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about the RENXT and Almabase integration. So we saw this a little bit through ACE's demo, but if you use RENXT, the workflows are customizable to suit your processes and needs for data movement. There are always so many tasks to get done after an event. Many customers love the integration to help streamline the post-event work that needs to happen. This can eliminate the repetitive work on the back end and automate tasks to save time. For example, if a constituent registers and attends this homecoming event, it will show up in Razor's Edge NXT. Or if they give a gift, it will batch over using merchant services, and the gift will display on their constituent record. You can even customize parts of the workflow to do specific tasks, like marking the event gift as already acknowledged, which can save some time for your users. Let's look at a couple screenshots on the next slide. So this is a screenshot from the admin's perspective on that sync and exports tab that Asa also kind of highlighted in his demo from Almabase. So on this page, the admin can sync data from a recently concluded event into their RENXT database. And at the bottom of this page, there's an area that shows where it's been synced. And on the next slide, we have a couple screenshots from the Razor's Edge NXT side. These two screenshots show the data after that import. So everything from the name of the event, alumni, any guests invited, their RSVP status, and much more are all imported directly from Almabase. Many customers love the ease of getting information from one solution to the other, making this complex event feel simple. And the process is very quick. It only took a couple minutes. Next, Asa is going to share a couple customer stories.
Yeah, thanks, Raina. So we certainly have had quite a few customers be really successful with a platform like Almabase, but more importantly, just successful in putting on homecoming and reunion events here. And so we wanted to highlight some of these and what they did well. One would be like Drury University. Wanted to show you their page a little bit here. Something unique that we think Drury did is that they really leveraged YouTube videos to help with their marketing plan. It was really neat to see them do different things like that. And they were able to also increase their donor participation by encouraging alumni to make a gift, even if they couldn't attend the reunion information or the reunion event here. Another one that we saw is Misericordia University. They did a neat theme in celebrating their athletic teams, and it really resonated with their alumni. There was a lot of pride with their athletic teams, and so you can see where they included a lot of information about their teams here. We have a neat K-12 school, Baylor School. I just love the imagery here on the banner and being able to see, man, I want to be a part of something like that here. But they did a really elaborate job with a planned schedule and jam-packed it with reunions for different classes. Here, you can see everything that they've got going on. But then they have that reunion planner, and look at all that they did for this event. They even included different hotel accommodations and information here for their alumni. So they did an awesome job. They were actually able to see over 1,000 people register in total for this event and had all of that information for them as well. And one other neat one to be able to highlight here is the College of Idaho. Who doesn't like Friends? And so they did a really neat Friends themed, and that really helped make it special and showcase some of the programs here. And you can see it's a real neat way of being able to lay out that event and all that they had going on here. Plenty of information, and it was a neat way for them to even do virtual elements here for a virtual reunion. So really fun, exciting, flexible ways that we thought were unique and allowed them to stand out and really see great success during everything that was going on here. So those are just some of the customers that we have that we wanted to be able to highlight. I know that from my perspective and understanding and what I've been able to be a part of with my alma mater, some of the really exciting things that drive me to want to keep coming back is that kind of pride in being an alum there and being able to go back and network with fellow alum myself. But then we always do a big block party ahead of the football game, and there is a tailgate party, and there are a lot of after parties part of that. And so there's just so many opportunities to be able to go out, have fun with fellow alum, meet new ones, meet old ones. And so that's something that really drives a lot of me wanting to participate in an event like that, is the fun, different activities that are available that I just can't do except for at Homecoming. I can't just go out to these parties and be with people that have something in common like that. Hundreds and thousands of people that have something in common. There's just nothing like it. And so to build that expectation can be very exciting. So I'm sure after all of this, it was quite a bit of information being thrown, and you might have even more questions and want to learn even more about the many different solutions that are available with Almabase and Blackbaud. And so we have lots of opportunity to reach out. You can certainly reach out to us to schedule demos and be able to talk to different people that can help you throughout the process. And we do have another poll for you. We always want to stay relevant and help and be able to educate and talk about things that you all are interested in. So I'm going to open up one more poll here because we want to know, what are you interested in seeing for future webinars? So I've launched that. Feel free to be answering. I know there's a bit to read through there, so I'm going to leave that open for a little while. As those are rolling in, Sarah, Raina, and I have had an awesome time this morning, this afternoon, joining you all, being able to share a little bit from our perspective on those best practices when it comes to homecoming, reunion, some of the tools that Almabase and Blackbaud make available so that you don't have to be pulling your hair out. And maybe we can even remove some of those hats that you wear on your head throughout the days and weeks in doing all that you do to help keep driving value for your alumni. So we'd love to connect with you after this. You can see our LinkedIn and our emails that are available there. We have a little bit of extra time here on the back end. And so if you have any questions, feel free to type them into that Q&A chat box. We'd be happy to go through different questions and help you all. or if you have some perspective you want to share in the chat, you can feel free to do that as well. We've had quite a bit of you answer this poll here. So I can go ahead and close that and show you what people are saying as well. Nice. Strategies to engage with young alumni. That is so cool. I think I saw this morning even from the Almabase marketing team that we are getting ready to release something about engaging young alumni. So that's awesome that that's something that you all are interested in. Another top one here, we have what engagement metrics you need to track in 2023 and how to track them. Always big, that the data analytics side. How to build a thriving alumni community. Awesome. Leveraging AI. Yeah, that's becoming more and more popular for sure there, to be able to strengthen your relationship with alumni. ChatGPT, that's popular as well, right in with that AI. We have trends and strategies in digital fundraising, and then others. So we're looking for some comments here in that chat so that we know what else we're looking for. Looks like we did get a question here from Marge. We're looking for a platform to house our alumni online email directory. Do you do that? Is there an opportunity for a free trial? Do you have a networking platform or job opportunities and giving days? Marge, you are in the right place, because that is exactly where Almabase can come in to help you out, because we certainly have like a whole online community portion of our platform as well, where you can have those different directories. There's lots of networking opportunities with job opportunities and jobs boards. And we have a giving solution too, to do peer-to-peer crowdfunding for giving days and different giving forms along the way. So yes, you are in the right place, and we would love for you to reach out so we can connect more and learn about your vision and goals for your programming, so we can help make sure you get the very best. Waiting to see if there's any others. Otherwise, we can kind of wrap up early. Raina, Sarah, do you all have anything else you would like to add or share from today?
No, just thank you all for taking the time this afternoon, or maybe morning for you. We appreciate you attending and asking questions. And then if you have any other questions or would like to connect with us, please definitely do so.
Thank you all. Yeah, reach out if you have any follow-up questions or if we can help with anything.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure. We will be sending this recording out later, and along with the checklist that we shared earlier too. So you have a lot coming your way to help you be successful. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will talk to you later.